Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys enjoyed my intro video. Just sharing with you guys what I'm drinking. This is the bottle that I'm drinking, guys. It's a Spear 1692 Spear, and it's a Cabernet Sauvignon. Guys, by the way, I just learned a couple of weeks ago how to pronounce that properly. Because I'm a wine lover, I cannot be going around pronouncing wine names incorrectly. I just have I don't know if I'm looking for my pen, sorry. I don't know what it's called, guys, but I've just got a thing of when I love something and I take interest in something, I want to know more about it. And so that even if when I'm talking about it to someone else, I seem like I know what I'm talking about, or rather not even seem, but I know what I'm talking about and I make sense. So in any case, welcome back to another video, guys. As you can tell from the title of this video, okay, I'm joking, guys. As you can tell from the title of this video, I am going to be sharing my career journey that includes salaries, work haters, being retrenched, and I'm going to share a bit of career advice at the end. So please watch this video till the end. You might really end up enjoying it, or it could be that it's meant for someone else that you know. And with that being said, too, please do share it if you feel like maybe it doesn't really resonate with you. I don't know why I keep on saying resonate. It's a resonate. Gosh, guys, George. Yo. Anyways, so as I was saying, let's get sorry, guys. For those of you who are watching for the first time, my name is Natasha. It's in style, guys. I'm so stressed, guys. This is the only wine I have left. Gosh. My name is Natasha. For those of you who are watching for the first time, for those of you who are returning, thank you so much. And for those of you watching for the first time, I hope you become a part of this family where just real conversations I had, authentic conversations I had, where I share my life experiences to just help someone out there and inspire them. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. I'm giving to do it. Don't think about it. Don't think twice about it. Just do it. Subscribe. You won't regret it. And hit the notification bell so that you are notified first when I do post videos. And then don't forget to interact in the comment section. Say something about the video if it's really helped you in some way or the other, if it's inspired you, if you know someone that you're going to share it with, or whatever the case may be. And if you really enjoyed watching it, please do so much, guys. So let's get right straight into it, guys. So oh guys, I think I'm poking my t-shirt with this pen. As I've mentioned, if you haven't watched my Get to Know Me tag, you can actually watch it. It's one of the videos down below in my timeline. I shared about 11 companies before, or 11, I've worked at 11 places rather. Let me just count to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, yeah. So with that being said, I didn't really share much about where I've worked, what I did, what my salary was, and how the environment was. I was just literally it was kind of like a 20 fun facts about me video. You really enjoy it, you can watch it down below. And I just stated that I've worked at 11 places, and today I'm going to actually be breaking it down and explaining to you guys where I worked, what I did, my expectations that I had, the salary that I got, the environment, and basically lessons and advice that I would give, you know, to a person who's just coming out of high school, a person who started varsity, a person just finishing varsity off and wanting to now enter the corporate world, and you know, just sharing what I learned, what I went through, and you know, just a bit of advice to just help someone. Guys, I've been around, hey. Okay, so the first I think I need to stop drinking when I do videos. I don't think it's gonna work out, but in any case, so guys, the first place that I worked at was at my mother's hair salon. My mother was a hairstylist. If you have watched my previous videos, you'll pick up that I speak a lot about her. She passed away a couple of years ago, not even a couple of years ago, like almost 12 years ago. but she was a hairstylist, and that's where I learned how to do hair. It was my first job, in the sense that it was the first way I learned of how to make money, and it was the first way that I learned in terms of like how to actually make quick money, where you just offer someone a service, and if they satisfy, you know, pay you for the service that you've offered them. So I really enjoyed it, and I think I was very young. I mentioned in my previous videos that I started working, I think I was in grade 3. It wasn't really hard labor, guys. I know you guys are gonna be like, her mother was, you know, making her do hard labor or anything like that. No, it was simply just me wanting to see more about what my mom was doing, and I'd literally either just maybe help out with braiding someone's hair or cleaning up the place, or helping to bring conditioner and shampoo when someone needed to wash their hair and stuff like that. That's where I started learning. I wasn't getting a salary or a wage or whatever, or an income. I was just literally helping my mother, but that really shaped me and prepared me for kind of like the working world, you know. The second place that I learned, that I worked at rather, was at a hair salon, but it was now not my mother's hair salon, but it was someone else's hair salon that I worked in. So the funny story about this is that I'm gonna share my life story with you guys as the year goes by. But long story short, I was at a stage in my life where I really wanted to kind of like make an income for myself, or just have like some pocket money. And yeah, there's a reason that happened. I wasn't getting money from the family I lived. It was so bad that I wasn't even getting toiletry money. So I think that really pushed me in the fact that no, I need to get myself a small job so that I can actually buy my own toiletries, because it was so bad that at some point I didn't even have pads. So yeah, thinking about it actually makes me so emotional. But in any case, this video is not supposed to be emotional, that we're gonna tackle in it. But that inspired me to now look for a job. So I got a job at a hair salon, which was literally like a street away from where I stayed. And yeah, the lady was very nice. She was so kind to me, and I think she had a soft spot, and she was very fond of me. So I started working in a hair salon, and guys, believe it or not, I used to get paid 150 Rand every weekend. I used to work only Saturdays and Sundays because I used to go to school during the week. So that was kind of like also my first kind of like real job, in a way where I'm working under someone and I'm getting paid for it, and they're monitoring my performance and all of that. So I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that, and I really enjoyed working at that hair salon. I think I worked there for like, I think it was like a year. Yeah, I think it was a year, because I remember 2013 I was improving my marks, so I was actually working there while I was improving my matric marks. The third place I worked at was NMMU, which is Nelson Mandela University. Well, it used to be Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University, but now they've changed the name. I don't know why, and they've changed the shapes, and it just doesn't make sense. Guys, I'm talking about their new logo. I feel like it's just, yeah, but in any case, that's not what this is. I worked at NMMU, and I was a kind of like a registration coordinator slash administrator. I used to make student cards for students, and this was in my first year of studies. God blessed me enough that I managed to get a job in my first year of studies. So yeah, basically that was my third job in a way, and I basically used to make student cards for students. I worked every year from there on. Yes, every year in January or Feb, when we used to register students. So yeah, basically that's where I worked in my third job. That was really beautiful. I really enjoyed it. It made me interact with a lot of people, because I really love interacting with people. So it made me interact with a lot of people. It made me get to know a lot of people, and I learned a lot of experience. I learned a lot, and I gained a lot of experience through that job. And I think I used to get paid, I think it was what, plus minus 4,000 if I'm not mistaken, or 3,000. I don't remember carefully or very well how much my salary was, but I remember it was not more than 5,000, and I don't think it was more than 4.5. So, and that's rands, guys. For you guys, for other people who are watching in other countries, and I don't know what your currency is, but you can try and convert what I'm saying. Yeah, basically it was in rands. My fourth job was at a company called Grant Thornton. Basically what we did was we did what do they call that, survey questionnaires, where we just went and we questioned people based on their experience about rugby. I think it was during the time when we had the rugby sevens happening at the World Cup, really, at the, what do you call this place, at the stadium. So basically we would go there and ask people based on a survey questionnaire, ask them what their experience is, how do they feel about it. And there were other different questions, guys. It happened years ago. I don't remember exactly what the questions were, but I remember that's what I did at Grant Thornton, and it was a once-off job, and I think we got paid plus minus 600 or 700 for doing that, and we did that for a week. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth place that I worked at was at Wakaberry. I don't know if you guys know the place, but it's kind of like a self-service. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. It was kind of like a self-service type of like restaurant. It was a restaurant where basically they sell frozen yogurt, and basically they have machines and you basically serve yourself. And I was kind of like a cashier slash floor assistant, whatever you can call it. I did everything. I mopped floors, I cleaned, you name it. So with that being said, at Wakaberry we used to get paid on a weekly basis, and the salary would change, not salary man, the wage would change based on how many days you worked in a week. So it wasn't really constant, or rather consistent, but it used to change a lot. And plus minus, I think you'd go home every week with like 700 if you really worked like nice shifts and all of that. And if you calculate that in a month, I think it would, actually I'm lying, at most you would actually get something like 1.4. And if you calculate that, if you worked the same hours that you worked in that week where you got paid 1.4, you'd get roughly about what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 12, 16, like 4,000 and some odd, or 5,000 and some odd, 5.6, around there. So yeah, it all depended on how well you did that week and how many shifts. Then the sixth place I worked, it's a catering company, and basically we worked under the catering company and under an agency, if I remember carefully. But basically when they had events that they had to cater for, we were called as waitresses. And I never worked for too long there because, yeah, it had issues of its own. But any case, not to ramble too much about there, roughly for a weekend job, which is a Saturday and a Sunday, roughly 600. But at times we would get good money if ever, like the whole event went well, it was a success, and the catering company made a good amount of money from the event, then we would also get like a good wage or whatever. I worked at a company called AutoWatch, which is a company that is rather sells car alarms and tracking systems for cars. And that was my first corporate job, like my first corporate job where I had to wear like professionally. And because all my other jobs, we used to wear like uniform, like normal jeans and a t-shirt or whatever. But now with AutoWatch, that was my first corporate job. And that was where I literally had to look professional because I was a receptionist there and a sales administrator. What am I saying? Sales administrator and a receptionist. So that was my first corporate job, and that's where I really learned a lot of skills, where I was groomed and grown into this woman that I have become. All the etiquettes that I learned, telephone etiquette, email etiquette, person etiquette, and how to interact with suppliers and customers and all of that. So yeah, that was my first corporate job, and I think there I started off on 5,000. Yes, believe it or not, it was 5,000 rands that I started off as a salary. And in that 5,000, guys, I had to pay rent, had to buy food, had to have transport fare, literally did everything in that 5,000. But I made it work because look where I am right now. So yeah, and seventh, or rather the eighth company that I worked for was DSV, which is a logistics company. And basically there I was a receptionist and kind of like a data capturer in a way. So I didn't really enjoy much at DSV. It was an experience, I guess, that I needed to go through, and it was an experience that I needed to learn, but there were a lot of politics and there was a lot of things that happened in that company, but I don't regret anything. Every lesson, or every experience rather, is a lesson that you need to learn, and I learned my lessons through that company. I learned what I needed to learn, and I guess the experience has really helped my resume, or rather my CV. Know it as a CV, and so I don't regret anything. But yeah, I guess each and every place has its own, you know, dynamics and all of that. I think my first salary was around 6,000, and thereafter I think it just grew to like 6.2 or 6.5, and basically that was that. Then I moved from there, and what do they call it, health insurance company, a very well-known health insurance company, and there it was a contract job, but I ended up leaving because it was just not for me. There was just so much that happened that where God just showed me and revealed to me that this is not for you. I don't want you to be here, because I was miserable, guys, but I'm going to touch up on that very soon. And then there, I think they had a good salary, because I think we used to get paid something around 8,000 to 10,000, depending if we would get, they had kind of like had a system of, what do you call it? If you had kind of like 0 errors and 100%, I don't know, completion of your documents or whatever, I don't remember what it used to be, but basically if you performed well in that specific month, then you would get kind of like kind of like an increment on your salary a bit, and it would like kind of like be like 1,000 rand or 2,000 more. So I think more or less I used to get paid like 8,000, around 8,000. So in that company, before I worked where I'm working now, I worked for a company that produces chemicals, and also there it was kind of like just for a short period of time. I learned also a lot there. There it was just literally like a once-off wage, so it wasn't really much of a stable income type of like thing, but I really enjoyed it. I learned so much about chemicals, about producing chemicals, and just also the experience around me, you know, and the people that I learned things from when I was working there. Then number 11 is where I'm currently working. I won't mention my company name for personal reasons, but basically I work in a manufacturing firm that manufactures products for an automotive industry. We kind of like in the automotive industry, but we manufacture products for a certain very big company that produces cars. And yeah, basically I'm in the logistics department there. And right now my salary is really okay. It's good. I'm really grateful for it. I won't mention it because it is my current salary. And what can I say? Yeah, it's really, I really enjoy what I'm doing, where I'm working, and it's a salary that is enough for me to sustain my needs and even do a bit more if I can. And yeah, basically that is that. So to kind of like now break down and go into detail about, you know, what happened where, and also now drifting to the whole thing of me giving you guys advice and career advice, and just sharing with you guys a bit more on what I would advise anyone. So I've tackled the salaries that I got. I've tackled the 11 jobs that I've worked at, and basically my wages and salaries in those jobs. Then I'm going to tackle retrenchment and which companies I got retrenched in. My first retrenchment happened at AutoWatch. I wasn't really retrenched, but they were kind of like on this graduate thing where they wanted to hire graduates for experience. So I think they would hire you for 2 years, and after 2 years they would let you go. And that's what basically happened with me. I was there for over 2 years, and then they let me go. But not because of my performance or anything like that, but it was just simply because of the company rules. They just wanted to hire graduates and give them 2 years experience, and then from there they hire someone else. So that's how kind of like my contract ended with AutoWatch. And then the first company that I got retrenched at, guys, was DSV. It was the worst feeling ever. You know, I think being retrenched there, you know that it's not your fault. You know that it's not something that you've done. But I think just the thought of being let go, it makes you feel like you didn't perform enough or you didn't do enough. But I think couple of days later, after I got retrenched, I had to remind myself, no man, I'm powerful, man. I know my work. I was doing well. I was performing well, you know. I was an asset to that company, but it's just the realization of, okay, it was mostly based on they call it last in, first out, which is LIFO, last in, first out basis, based on the Section 189 laws, and I was the last person in. I was one of the last person in, so I got let go first. And that's what happened there. It was really sad, but you know, guys, God. So let me tell you guys a story. So basically what had happened was that I was told that, kind of like, I don't remember the dates or the months perfectly well, but if I'm not mistaken, I was told that my last month would be September at now DSV. And then I remember the day that I got called into a meeting to tell me that basically now I'm being let go. I could literally feel God guide me and prepare me the whole week that they're gonna let you go. As a result, when I was called by my manager into the meeting, I already knew exactly what was happening, such that I was never even emotional, because I knew God had already shown me and spoken to me that it's gonna happen. So when it happened, I was just like, oh, okay, I knew this was gonna happen, you know. And guys, something amazing that happened was that during that process where now I was being let go, I was now told that I can work until the month end. Then I started applying for jobs, and then I applied now for a job at now this big health insurance company. And then literally I was called in for an interview for a test. Went for my test, I passed my test, and literally a week later I was called for an interview, if I'm not mistaken, or a couple of days later, and I kind of like got the job. And you know, the funniest part is that I got the job while I was still working in another company. And to actually think that God had already prepared something for me even before I left my previous company really blew my mind away, that God is such a God of provision. He's such a God of order. He's such a God of I'm there before you even get there. You know, he reaches in places that we don't even see. He reaches in places that we even haven't got to yet. So that's what happened basically. And with the health insurance company, I wasn't happy, guys. I was really depressed. Like, it was just one of those jobs where I was like, this is not for me. And there were so many things and so many signs that showed me that this is not for me. And I just took a leap of faith and I quit, because I was just like, no, I can't carry on like this. I lost so much weight. My skin was breaking out. I was depressed. I was constantly depressed. I even got to a point of suicidal thoughts. And to be honest, guys, maybe there's nothing wrong with the company, or there was nothing bad with the company, but it was just the whole thing of it wasn't for me, and I had to accept and acknowledge that it wasn't for me. And maybe someone else who was maybe in the same department I was working in was enjoying what they were doing. They were happy about their job, but it wasn't for me, because I just felt like I was out of place, and this is not where God wants me. Basically, that's what happened. Then the second place that I got, oh yeah, that was my first retrenchment, by the way, and I think that was my first and last retrenchment. I haven't gotten retrenched ever since. Glory be to God. So when we speak life upon that, basically that was my retrenchment story, and now where I was retrenched and how I was retrenched. And you know, just thinking about it now, I realized that God has just been so provisional, because when I left Auto Watch in 2015, when they told me now that my contract has ended, guys, literally same thing happened. While I was still working there, I was told that my contract is ending. So I started looking for a job. And while I was looking for a job, I always saw these DSV trucks that also always passed, and I'd be like, God, I want to work there one day. I don't know what they do, but I want to work there. I'm so attracted to branding and logos and all of that. But when I researched, I was like, yes, because I've always enjoyed the logistics field. So when I researched and found out that they were a logistics company, and I was like, yes, this is actually really part of my kind of like the field that I want to work. I applied for a job there, and lo and behold, literally while I was still working at other company, I got the job in the other company, and same thing happened now to that company. While I was working there and I got retrenched, I got the job in the other company. So yeah, guys, basically that's what happened in a nutshell. And so that was my salary, my being retrenched a moment, and all of that. So now we are going to speak about work haters, guys. So when I got to, I think the first place that I experienced a lot of work hate was at DSV. When I got to DSV, there were a lot of ladies. Okay, the people who worked in the admin department were all ladies. So when I got there, I'm this person who's such a nice person, a bubbly person, a kind person, a helpful person, a caring person. And when I get there, people just hate me. And I was just like, okay, guys, what can I, what did I do? You guys don't even know me, but you don't like me, And they made my life like a living hell. Like, I remember I used to stay with a very close friend of mine, and every time I'd get home and I'd cry and I'd tell her about everything that I was experiencing, and I'd tell her that I don't understand why these girls hate me so much. They don't even know me. I don't know them. They don't even know my story, but they just find it so easy to be kind of like unkind. They would put me in unnecessary trouble with regards to my work. They would always pin trouble upon me and pin things that I didn't do or didn't say upon me. And I remember I'd always pray to God, and I'd be like, God, did you really bring me this far to bring me this far? Long story short, that was my first work hate experience, and it really stuck with me because I always thought there was something wrong with me. I always thought maybe I needed to change something in me. Maybe I was the one who's wrong. Maybe I wasn't enough. I wasn't doing enough, or whatever the case may be. But going forward, I started learning that no, man, there's nothing wrong with me, because how can someone just meet you for the first time and decide there and then that they don't like you and they hate you? Yes, auras and vibes are a thing, but you can't just base your hate or dislike on someone just with meeting them for the first time. Maybe you can distinguish that, okay, I'm not really comfortable around this person, but you don't just go around hating people and not liking people when you don't even know them. So fine, long story short, that was my first work hate experience. And I moved now into the next company, which is the health insurance company. And the same thing. I was just like, Aibo guys, what is happening? Like, what am I doing wrong? And I think working there pushed me to a point where I was like, you know what? Deuces, guys, I am leaving, because I think I've mentioned before that I was so depressed. I didn't love what I was doing. I didn't like what I was doing. I didn't like the way they handled things. They handled procedures. There was just a lot of childishness I felt that was happening, like a lot of competition, a lot of embarrassment when you didn't do well. It was kind of like we were in high school, and that reminded me a lot of a time that I had in high school, which I'll be sharing a video about that sometime soon. But I was just like, I am not going to work in a place where I feel like I'm still in high school, and I just didn't enjoy what I was doing, and so I decided to leave. But even there also, it was also just part of the reason I left was because of the dynamics, man, and the girls being funny towards you, not liking you, treating you badly, feeling threatened by you, or whatever the case may be. So that was my second work hate experience. And I think from there on, I think that was my second and last, because where I'm working now, I got to such a beautiful environment. By the way, guys, let me share with you. So when I started working before I started working where I'm working now, to share a very amazing story with you guys. So what happened was, I was unemployed after I worked at the chemical company. It was also for a contract. It was just, I was holding in for someone. Yeah, I then now was looking for a job. So I remember this one morning, God waking me up and telling me, pray about what you want, tell me what you want, give me everything, give me details, the field you want to work in, the salary that you want, the environment that you want, tell me what it is. And I was like, you know what, God, I'm going to put you to the test if you're telling me that I must tell you what I want. So I then told God, I was like, okay, God, I want to work in this field. This is the salary that I want. I want to work in this environment. I just want to be in peace at my work. I don't want to work in an environment that depresses me and all of that. Guys, it wasn't even over a week. I started getting calls. Long story short, got called for an interview. Lo and behold, the job that I was looking for and that I wanted for so long is exactly what it was exactly what it was rather. And yeah, and then I started working there, and I've been working there for the past couple of years. Yeah, in now tackling the whole sense of work haters, that was my work haters experience. But what I wanted to say also about that is that I learned so much in that experience that I think something that I took out, I've even posted it once on my Instagram wall, is that sometimes people don't like you, or they treat you badly, not because you're a bad person or because there's something wrong with you, but it's because something wrong with them. And I even shared in my previous video that how people treat you is a direct reflection of how they feel about themselves. And I also learned something that sometimes people are at war with themselves and they take it out on you. So you get there and you think there's something wrong with you, but no, it's a battle that they're fighting with themselves. And now you get there and they probably feel threatened by you, or they just decide, in fact, I'm not gonna like her because she's got beautiful hair or beautiful eyes or beautiful hands, whatever the case may be. I'm just making examples. Girls really hate each other over like the smallest and most stupid things. Actually, that's one thing I've learned. So you never know what it is. Someone might hate you literally for your toes, and you'll be living in a miserable environment because of this person, but Gandhi, they hate you because of your toes, because that's how girls are. I had to go through a phase of learning that, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm not a bad person. As far as I'm concerned, I'm the most kind person. I'm caring, I'm loving, I'm giving, I'm thoughtful, I'm always present. If you need my help, I'm there. If I can help you, I will. And to actually think about it, guys, where I'm working now, there's a person who just recently got employed, and I kind of had to groom her into a position and help her. And I did it with so much love and kindness, because it took me back to a quote that I really love. It says, be who you needed when you were in that situation. Some people say, be who you needed when you were younger. I say, be who you needed when you're in that situation, because I was in a situation and I longed so much for someone who would help me and would be kind to me in the workplace. And I always vowed to myself, and I told myself that I will never treat someone else badly who's new in the company, or who needs my help in adjusting in her position, or whatever the case may be. I vowed myself that day, after I was treated unkindly, that I'll always be kind to other people. I will always be kind to other people. I'll always be caring. I'll be supportive when there's someone new. I'll give them all the support that I never got, And guys, it's not about treating other people badly because you were treated badly, because that says more about your character. But it's about when someone treats you badly, don't go and treat someone else badly, but treat them in a kinder way, because it reflects more of your character and who you are as a person. So you don't take out your frustrations and your pain and your experience and what other people did to you and to someone else, but you change the narrative and you do better and you treat other people better. So yeah, that's been a very mind-blowing kind of irony in the situation, where I went through a moment where I was treated badly, and now all of a sudden I'm now faced in this moment and situation where I have to be the person who gives someone else guidance. And I felt like God was putting me in a position of, what are you going to do? You've always had this unkind treatment. Are you going to treat this person with kindness? Are you going to treat this person with love? And I already vowed to myself years ago that, I would never be that person to anyone. If anything, I would want someone to part ways with me in the future. Should I leave or should they leave the company? And I want them, wherever they are, whenever they speak about my name, they'll be like, she was the most kindest person I've ever seen and I've ever met. And she really welcomed me with such humility and warm arms and with such kindness, So yeah, guys, in a nutshell, that was my salary, life, way I've worked, retrenchment stories and work hating stories. And now my career advice is as follows. My first advice would be, if you are in high school, it's very, very crucial and important for you to be careful with succumbing to peer pressure in terms of the subjects that you choose. Make sure you choose subjects that resonate with who you are and what you want to do, what you're passionate about. I think I'm rather going to explain more of this in a different video. in terms of my high school experience and my subject story and how I ended up choosing the subjects I chose, which led me into a different field that I didn't even want to study in, and obtaining a diploma that I didn't really even have a passion for. But basically, my small advice would be, choose subjects that resonate with you, choose subjects that you enjoy doing, and don't succumb to peer pressure in that sense. If you feel like you're more of a business related person, choose subjects related to business studies. If you feel you're more like of a scientist person and you want to maybe pursue a career in doctorship, or be a nurse, or maybe electrical engineer, then physical science will be a thing for you. You name all these things, biomedical technology, all these science related courses. Do something that is along that. Find your passion, find what you like doing, find what you enjoy doing, and then choose subjects that are related to that. But don't choose subjects because of peer pressure, because your friends are doing it, because other people say it's gonna lead you to the right places. It doesn't always lead you to the right places, guys. I know, I'm speaking from experience. I'll share my story in a different video. Maybe I'll do a part 2 of this video where I share that in explanation and stuff like that. And my second thing is, be very careful the course that you choose in varsity. Make sure that you choose something that you enjoy doing, a career that, guys, when you study something, whether it's a diploma, certificate, or a degree, it's something that you're gonna have, something that you're gonna study for years, something that you're gonna have and carry with you to open doors for you to apply for jobs. So you don't want to do something that you don't really like doing, that you don't enjoy doing, that you're going to regret after years, that you're going to struggle to find a job in, So I would really advise that you really choose your course very carefully, and you really think about it and consider, what you really enjoy doing and what you're passionate about and what you want to pursue even in the future. My third point, your CV. Your CV is very important also. Going forward now, this is after you've studied high school, you've now studied your course and you've now graduated. Your CV is really crucial because it's now kind of like, it's going to explain who you are before you even get to the company or even get the interview. So be very crucial with what you write on your CV. I think maybe I can do the part 2 that I'm going to do of this video. Maybe I'll add the whole my story, or my high school story and subject choosing, and my university story and my course choosing, and now lastly CV and applying for jobs, and what really opened doors for me in terms of my resume, how I displayed my resume, what to put and not to put, and what I'm not an expert in these things, but I'm just sharing my experience, things that I've applied that have really helped me to always get a job, and maybe that have opened doors for me. So yeah, basically guys, that's what I wanted to share with you guys. You guys should look out for the part 2, where I'll be sharing in details how I chose my subjects in high school, the peer pressure that I succumbed to, how, the peer pressure that I succumbed to, and the implications and repercussions that I had to suffer, and the reaction of that, and also the same thing in varsity, and in the corporate world, how I started working, and now my CV and all of that. So I'll be sharing all of that with you guys, and I will put that in detail, and because I feel like this video is going to be too long now, so I want to cut it short. But in any case, guys, that's basically the gist of it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please do subscribe if you haven't, like if you enjoyed it, share it with someone you feel like who needs it and who you feel like it might resonate with them. Comment down below if there's something you've taken from this video, if you've been inspired, if there's something that you feel like you've learned that you didn't know, in anything. Please do interact with me in the comment section, and look forward to part 2 of this video. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. May God bless you guys, and a blessed week ahead. Stay positive, stay strong, stay faithful in God. Don't give up. Mondays are not boring. They are an opportunity for a fresh start. So get into the new week with that mindset that no matter what you're going through, no matter what's happening, things are going to get better, things are going to get clearer, and God is going to bless you. And I just wish you nothing but the best, and have a beautiful week, guys.